Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. So can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So Henry and Naomi, you're on. So why don't you tell me, how would you describe this girl, just looking at her facial profile?
Wow, she's very retro.
Yep.
Retro fine.
What else?
Have you got a lat surf?
Yeah, I will have later on, but
I just want clinical.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so she's quite retronathic. Her profile's quite retruded.
Yep.
She's nasolabial angle. Quite a prominent chin, but
Yep.
facial thirds look okay. She looks a bit, I think she's probably breaky. I'd say she looks breaky.
Why would you say she's brachyfacial?
She looks it. I don't know. I'd have to see the Ceph. She could be meso.
Well, what do you think of her facial heights?
Lower third is low.
Yeah, so that would be typical of a brachyfacial type of patient.
Her chin point looks okay.
She's got a very pronounced chin.
Yeah, very mental. Yeah, mental fold is quite deep.
But she's got a fairly big nose as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know, if you look at that, you'd think, oh, if I can avoid taking out teeth, you would.
Yep, that's right. Yep. As soon as you look at that profile, you would hope that she would be a
non-extraction case. Yeah.
You would hope.
And she's looks narrow in the upper arch too. The buccal corridors look a bit.
Absolutely. Yep. I would agree with.
Midlines look okay on the upper. Can't tell the lower.
The upper midline's not too bad based on the philtrum of the upper lip. Maybe slightly off to the left, but
slightly, but not. Yeah.
But minimal.
Yeah.
So the OPG shows nothing of any great significance.
Oh, she's probably got a very steep curve of speed by looking at that.
Yeah, probably. But once again, you would expect that. You would expect that clinic.
Yeah.
So
yeah, very retroclined incisors, deep bite over 100%, isn't it? Yep.
Okay. So
severe class 2.
So she's a real class 2 Div 2.
Yep.
And her deep curvus B, as you can see from her half open photos.
Yep.
Okay. So what are your treatment options here?
I would well, obviously she's got, what was it, 8 millimeters class 2 there?
Yep. She's pretty
so I would probably use a functional appliance. I would have to band up her upper arch to create an overjet first.
Okay. Okay.
Well, that's what I would do. I'd create an overjet so that I can bring that lower jaw forward.
Okay. So let's go back.
She may need
so you bring she's got a really strong chin though.
Yeah, I know. That's what's going. She'll probably need something with her chin done later.
Okay. So you could basically suggest, okay,
a junioplasty.
Sorry?
A junioplasty, possibly.
Yeah, possibly reduction junioplasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what are the critical paths to success here?
Opening up her bite.
Yeah.
You don't want to, just looking at her smile arc, what was that? She didn't show any gingival tissue, correct? I'm smiling. So she didn't show a lot of teeth, my understanding was. I can't remember. There you go. Yeah, so you don't probably want to intrude those teeth too much.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe a little bit, but not, you don't want to overdo it. She's certainly not gut.
Hi, Becky. How are you? I'm just going to allow you to talk.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Naomi.
Hi, Becky. How are you, doll?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm tired. I've been working so hard.
Okay. So Beck, I didn't put your case on because you weren't there in time.
No, that's fine.
Okay. So this is the case that we're going to look at. We're going to look at. If we've got time, I've got your case ready to go as well.
Okay.
Okay. So here we are with a significant, looks like a significant class 2 skeletal, retrodathic mandible, but a very strong chin compensating, and an acute nasolabial angle. And you have to say, just from the facial point of view, we've got a brachyfacial pattern.
Yes.
Okay, we've got a deep curvus B.
Yeah.
Okay, so one option is let's go ahead and, well, the critical path. Let's go back to the critical path to success. Because whatever we do, we need to talk on the upper incisors.
Yeah.
So this is not, and I see this quite often when people go, "Oh, can we do Smilefast for this?" You've got a really deep bite. You need a lot of talk. That's what's going to take your time. So this is not a Smilefast case. This is a case where because of the retroclined upper incisors, you're going to need to use quite a lot of rectangular wire.
Yeah.
Okay, and it will take time because talking of those roots palatally takes a lot of time. Now, getting back to that critical path of success, how are we going to talk those teeth? What are your ways of talking those teeth?
Well, you'll need to use rectangular wires.
Yep. And so
And the only way to do that is to really straighten out those teeth really quickly first, and then do the rectangular wire.
Yep. And what rectangular wires would you be looking at more than likely in a case like this?
21 by 25.
Sorry?
21 by 25.
You would be looking at proceeding, I would imagine, to at least a 21 by 25.
Yeah.
If you want the torque control here, you would reassess it at 1925 night time, but more than likely you'd be planning to put in a 21 by 25 night time, no matter what you do. What other, you guys haven't done the module 6 yet, but the other particular option that you've got later on is actually a high torque anterior wire. So if you even need more torque than what's expressed in a 21 by 25 wire, then you can always go into what they call a high torque anterior wire, which is a 1925 or a 21 by 25, but it's got an extra 20 degrees of torque built into the 2 to 2 region.
Yeah.
You mean in the bracket, don't you?
No, I'm talking about there are wires.
Oh, wow. That I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, there are wires. So you don't have, because here you are, you've got your normal prescription, on, and you go, oh my God, here we are near the end of treatment, I still need more torque. So in module 6, we're going to show you different types of torquing appliances, different types of wires that you can put in to get out of these type of issues.
Do you remember how you taught us about the center of rotation, and sometimes instead of getting proclination, you get retro?
That's if, okay.
I'm just trying to remember that lesson.
Yeah, okay. That's determined by the center of resistance of the teeth.
Yeah.
So if you went ahead and tried to intrude these teeth in this,
that's right.
In this particular position, you are going to be, and depending on where your bracket is, if the bracket is really incisal, which is what people tend to do in these deep bite cases, you are now behind the center of resistance of that tooth.
Right.
So a lot of people go ahead and they put their brackets on more incisally because they just see it's a deep bite, so they're going to open the bite. But now your point of force system is more more palatal to the center of resistance. So if you have an intrusive force at that point, you can actually retrocline these teeth even further.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So what I did was I went ahead and I put some upper wires in just to start to start to align the teeth. So I put my typical double 14 night highs in, and at that time I was still using Damon brackets, but I believe that a active self-ligation bracket is far better, especially when you're looking for torque control. Okay, so I started off with doing that, and you can see how the wire dips in, and at the end of the day, what you want is some extrusion of those upper teeth and intrusion in the lower teeth. What did I probably do which was wrong? We've got a brachyfacial patient here, right? What is going to happen here? Am I going to
rotate the central first?
Yeah, well, that's one possibility. But what's going to happen? Are we going to get intrusion of those upper teeth? Are we going to get extrusion of those posterior teeth? Or are we going to get a combination of both?
Well, it's a deep bite, so there's restriction. So really...
Yeah, you're going to get intrusion. I don't think you can get extrusion of the back teeth.
Exactly right. Not without bite turbos on.
No, there's a restraint, like Becky said.
That's exactly right. So with this setup, and we've got a brachyfacial pattern with a short lower facial height here.
So you should have asked for some more extrusion.
I should have been looking for some more posterior extrusion here. Correct.
Oh.
Okay. So then I decided I'm going to go ahead and put an intrusion arch in.
After they're aligned.
After they're aligned. If you put an intrusion arch in at the beginning,
you'll get that. It'll retrude more. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've put an extrusion arch in, an intrusion arch, and I've tied it in basically anterior. So this will be just about pure intrusion. Okay. But once again, what's the reciprocal effect of an intrusion arch?
Extrusion.
Extrusion of the posterior teeth.
If they can.
Okay, if they can. So anyway, I've gone ahead and I've kept on intruding these teeth, and eventually I go ahead and I put my lower brackets on, and I put bite turbos on the posterior teeth, which once again was pretty silly to do. I should have put my bite turbos on more anteriorly. Because how does this lower 4 and 5 extrude?
Yeah, you've stopped it with the turbos.
Absolutely.
Jeff, could you have put it on the upper 7s in this case, or it's not as effective?
No, the 7s is probably the only... Okay, and that's a really good question. See, let's go back to the original photos. And I really don't... I
think you can see them.
See your 7 here, right? Is probably a little... when you've got a curve of speed, your 7s are a little bit over erupted. So you can get away with it on your... You can get away with your bite turbos on your 7s because you don't mind intruding your 7s just slightly. Your problem here is your upper 7s. They're very high up. Where are you going to put your bite turbos to actually contact those lower 7s?
Good point.
Yeah.
It's
So I
easier
would
to isolate at the front as well.
If your 7s were in a position to put your bite turbos on, I would have no problems with that. But I definitely don't want to put on my 6s or my 4s or my 5s, where I'm going to get more intrusion of that deep, or more intrusion of those posterior teeth and aggravate my deep curve of speed. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes sense.
So did that mandible come forward?
Well, this is exactly what we're going to show.
I'm trying to think how you're correcting this class too.
Oh, I would love to see it too. Okay, and this is why I'm presenting this case.
You got lucky.
I got very, very lucky because of the class 2 div 2 appearance. Because of the class 2 div 2 appearance, I ended up with some repositioning of the mandible.
So what if it didn't happen?
If it didn't happen, I'd be wearing a lot of... whatever I do, I still need to get the torque on those upper incisors. And then I'd be reassessing this as the amount of class 2 do I have. So, Becky, have I muted you again?
No, I sometimes mute myself because my younger one's around.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this, in essence, was a therapeutic diagnosis, was to say, okay, let's align the upper teeth, align the lower teeth, and then exactly what you said, Naomi, hey, I may have used a functional appliance here, okay?
That wouldn't have been wrong.
Sorry?
It wouldn't have been wrong.
No, not at all. Not at all. Or I may have used a lot of class 2 elastics, or could I have extracted the upper fours? Now, you're going to argue, look at a profile, okay?
Well, it's not going to affect her profile if
It's
you
not,
don't.
it's not going to affect her profile at all. In fact, she will still improve a little bit because of the torque on those upper incisors. But you're not going to make a significant improvement in it. But yeah, to think, because these teeth are already retroclined, so how are they supporting the upper lip anyway? So if I brought those teeth back with the right angulation, I'd probably support the upper lip a fraction better anyway. It's the class 2 div 1s where the teeth are already quite a way forwards. If you retract in those cases, you're going to move the upper lip back. So in this case, you're really not going to change the person's profile if you extract it. But I probably would have tried a functional appliance first. But I just did this basically with class 2 elastics.
Jeff, if she needs a genioplasty,
Yep.
At what age is the right age to do this?
Oh, that's a good question. And okay, I'm going to ask you that question. Okay.
Well, it's going to keep growing, right? After, do you have to wait till the growth has stopped and then another 2 years?
Well, ideally, you'd want to wait for the growth to stop, because the last thing you want to do is to do a genioplasty. She grows a bit more, and then she still doesn't like her chin. But the question is, how much growth are you going to get? Maybe a millimetre?
Yeah, you're changing the shape of the chin, so it's not going to matter too much.
What's really interesting here is I've actually developed a bit of a crossbite on both sides. So let's go back to the original photos and see if we can figure out why. Okay. And in all honesty, it's probably because remember, you've got to look at the worst position.
I thought it was the canines, or probably the central, maybe.
Well, I would say the centrals are probably worse positioned.
Yeah, the central was. The canine, I think, was also rotated, which.
Yeah, minimally,
Yeah.
and the upper left canine was rotated distal to the labial. But you could also argue, hey, it could have been a bit with the rotations of the premolars, because that wire, when it's engaged, is sitting in. Because why would I? Or the other part is, could it have been expansion in the lower arch? See your lower canines? Yeah. Have I overexpanded the lower arch?
Oh yeah, that probably is, yeah.
So whatever it be, now I look at it and go, look what's happened here. Look what's happened here. I think I have overexpanded the lower arch, because look at where the 6 and the 7 is.
Did you just do that with shaping the wire?
What's that?
How did you overexpand it? Just
because of the position of the lower canines.
Oh, okay.
Because of this position here. So see where your 6 and 7 are. Your 6 and 7 are right near each other. When I put the brackets on. Okay. Look at the 5. Look at how rotated that 5 is. So I've got this pulling the wire out. I've got this pulling the wire out. The wire out buccally. And so when we look at this, look how far that 6 has come out in relationship to the 7. All because of just putting a wire in.
So Jeff, why were there no brackets on the 7s?
Because,
is it just because it's not possible to bond it on them because they're partially erupted?
No, I should.
Good question, Becky.
Beck?
Because you told me that all good orthodontists should have the brackets on the 7s.
Yeah, but he's not a good one.
Yeah, and I did bracket the 7s later on.
Okay. Yeah.
But
So it's a partially erupted issue, and that was why?
well, no, it was laziness that I should have done it earlier on.
Okay, yeah. Because I do see it happen. I don't know, I see it more and more these days.
Yeah, because orthodontists are trying to get out of treatment and make more money quickly. And in fact, to level that curve of speed, you need the sevens banded or bonded.
Okay, yeah. No, that
So
makes
in a
sense.
deep bite case, you should definitely have those sevens bonded as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
But and if I put bite turbos on the upper centrals or upper laterals, I could actually get those molar tubes bonded on the second molars. Because the problem is people don't bond them on because they're going to break off because they haven't got the bite turbos on.
Yes. Yeah.
And look at the discrepancy here between my 6 and 7 on the upper arch.
Yeah.
So I did rebond in that mid-treatment rebonding appointment. I bonded the 7s, but had I bonded them very early on in treatment, I would have probably saved 4 to 6 months of treatment.
Yeah.
So you're totally correct. So when we finished it, see how I intruded those upper teeth? I probably shouldn't have in one way because I've actually diminished that smile arc a little bit.
Did she go for a junior?
Yeah.
Oh, she did? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, look at her profile. Profile isn't changed particularly. It's the lower incisors have come forward, giving her a bit more lower lip fullness. So when you go right to the beginning, see right at the beginning how her lower incisors were also very upright and retroclined, which is not atypical of your upper incisors being upright and retroclined. But I was very lucky that the mandible came forwards. Okay, can you predict it? No. So I've actually moved those lower incisors forwards quite a bit, but now I've got a decent result, and the sevens are better, but they're not perfect because I should have got onto them, very early on in treatment.
It's a nice result, though.
It is a nice result, but it could have been done far more efficiently. And at the end of the day, I'm going to say I was lucky. Yeah, truthfully, I was lucky because I really didn't manage that case well. Yeah, I had a crossbite develop. I had all these things happen to me that I should have addressed earlier on.
So, Jeff, how did you recover from the crossbite that was developing?
Right at the very end, I would have put in some expanded upper wires, some constricted lower wires. Okay, and I could have run some, and I would have had some buttons on the palatal of the uppers, and just run some cross arch elastics at the same time. But put it this way, it shouldn't have happened. So I spent 6 months in recovering. So Henry, you're totally correct.
So did you have to use did you use class 2 elastics as well?
Absolutely.
Oh, you did as well? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I used a lot of class 2 elastics. But once again, the one thing that I did right was I went into the 21 by 25 night eye. Because even if you use class 2 elastics and you use them on these lighter wires in this situation, you're going to retrocline the upper teeth further. So you had to, your critical path to success here was getting the torque control. But yes, I did use class 2 elastics, absolutely.
Why did you not use, it's easier to look at things retrospectively, but why did you not bond up and lower together and use bite turbos anteriorly? Is that because you didn't want to intrude the upper teeth?
No.
No.
Yeah. Two parts to it. One, I thought two reasons. When do I bond her up? I just have the date. Okay. Two couple of reasons. One, I think I bonded her up just probably a month or so before Christmas. Okay, and I just hate having bracket failures over the Christmas holidays. Okay, the second reason is when you put bite turbos on teeth that are severely retroclined like this, you're going to really jack open the bite posteriorly, and it's very uncomfortable for the patient. So it was more of a patient management exercise, but from a clinical point of view, it would have been far better to put your bite turbos on day one. Okay. Can you imagine when you put bite turbos on these upper incisors which are really retroclined, that bite posteriorly would be significantly open, and the patients would be complaining that they can't eat at all. So it was more of a patient management exercise. And then it comes down to a laziness exercise, where sometimes I'm too busy and I just don't want to put both on, or a patient management exercise.
Okay.
But technically speaking, I would have got a better result and a quicker result had I put the bite turbos on, because I could have bonded the second molars day one had I put bite turbos on.
Okay. Yep.
Which would also partially answer your question, Beck.
Yeah.
So I thought it was an interesting case, but there was a lot of luck, and this is what I keep saying to you guys. You know what? I could show you this case and go, we do all non-extraction, all that type of stuff, right? This doesn't happen every time. This is not predictable, but it is predictable if you have explained to the patient, I'm going to reassess it. I'm going to put my braces on. I'm going to see how much overjet we've got. Obviously, not going to tell the patient the overjet, but I'm going to assess the overbite, and then we're going to need to make a decision. Do we put a plating to move the jaw forwards? Do we look at taking out some teeth? Or do we just keep going on the way we are if we're being successful? But it's the old promise less, deliver more routine if you're in doubt. But I have to say, this is not a case that I'm very proud of from the point of view of efficiencies. I'm happy that it turned out all right. So she looks a lot better. I don't think there's any doubt. I don't think there's any doubt about that at all.
Yeah. It is a really nice result.
It is a nice result. It is. But so it's a little bit like you guys as a dentist. You can get a nice result, but you've also got to be proud of the way that you've done it. And I'm honestly not that proud of my efficiencies.
Yeah, like the process of how you got there.
Yeah, but I'm very happy that we got a good result. But that just shows you, hey, I'm an orthodontist, so what? Because provided, and I should have seen this crossbite earlier on. So that was March 2016. And
how would you have fixed it?
Sorry?
How would you have fixed it at that point?
Oh, that was a question that Henry was asking. I would have put in some expanded stainless steel wires on the upper.
So you expand it with your hands?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Mainly with my hands. You can use the arch forming plier as well, but I find doing it with your hands is a lot better. You would constrict the lower arch.
How much do you expand it? So when you put it back onto the arch form,
yep.
Is it a tooth, a whole tooth, or is it
a whole tooth and nothing but the tooth?
Okay, so it's quite a bit.
I would have said about 4 or 5 millimeters.
Yeah.
Okay, and I would have, because you're only going to get about 2.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would have constricted the lower by 4 or 5 millimeters.
Mm.
And if you wanted to, you could then add some palatal buttons on the upper posterior segment and even run some cross arch elastics. Because one of your advantages here is that your upper teeth are tipped in lingually a little bit. So cross-arch elastics would have been very helpful as well, which I think I did do at the very end stage. Does that make sense, Beck?
Yeah, but I don't really understand the you said expanded by hand. Does that mean like you have to bend the wire sort of thing? Is that what you're talking about?
I will show you in module 6.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. And it is so simple. But firstly, you can't do that on nitinol, obviously, because it
Yeah, of course, it's got memory. Yeah.
So you get your stainless steel wire, and all you're doing is you get the ends basically, and you basically just pull the ends out.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
So it's not difficult. It'll take you like about a minute. And also in module 6, one of the other things that we're going to show you is how to bend curve of spee in your lower or upper stainless steel wire as well. So
yeah, I do that a lot.
Sorry?
I do that a lot. I bend it with my hand.
Absolutely. You've got to shape that wire, because if you're not going to get 100% out of any wire, you have to overcorrect wires. And we're going to discuss that also in Invisalign, because in braces, well, not Invisalign, but aligner therapy in general, because this is one of the fallacies. You know, in braces, we put in reverse curves, B wire. We do all these things in our mechanics to overcorrect to get to the ideal end result, and we need to do the same with aligner therapy.
Yeah.
If you think that the clean check, or the digital setup which they give you, which looks good, that you're going to get there. For example, let's say in aligner therapy they gave you a setup, right, that looked like our end result, and you would go, that's fantastic. When I do an aligner setup, what do you think I'm going to do? What do you think I'm going to do? My aligner setup, I will have a 6mm open bite.
Mm.
And I'm still not going to get there. But I'll get a lot closer. If you just gave that setup in a aligner setup, you would end up with a 7mm overbite instead of a 10mm overbite. So we're going to teach you all that in the aligner module.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one, actually.
Yeah. Well, if you want to start doing aligner therapy, you really have to start to. We really want to give you the tools that you're not going to have all the issues that we used to have.
Mm. Yeah.
Is that the next module?
Sorry?
Is that the next module?
Sorry?
What's the next module? Is it?
The next module for you guys is module 4, the aligner module. Yeah, and then next year module 5. So our next module, which none of you guys are involved in, is our module 8 on interdisciplinary treatment.
Mm.
And that's I've just finished all that module. That's a really good module. We've got Andrew Dillon on Saturday. So Andrew and I are going to be presenting cases that we've done together. And
good on Andrew. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that'll be module 8 should be a really good module. But module 4, the aligner module, I think you'll get a lot out of. Beck, have you done many aligners?
I've done a few. I'm actually going to because I dabble with Smile Styler.
Yep.
So actually tonight they've got some talk, and then tomorrow as well, some guy from the US. So it'll be interesting to.
Is that oh God, the guy from the US is a really smart guy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what his name is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it too.
I'll look it up. I'll let you know in a moment.
Yeah. I actually know him.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I'm going to meet him. I'm going to catch up with
Dr. Hickory.
Yeah, Wayne Hickory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne actually, with my friend Rohit, Wayne trained the year below Rohit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Wayne is a lazy guy, and that's why he loves Invisalign, because it's all delegated.
Yeah.
And Invisalign can be really good if you know what you're doing. but there's an enormous learning curve. And the problem with Invisalign, and I shouldn't use Invisalign, it's aligners in general. The problem is that if something doesn't go right like this, what do you do to get out of it? You've got to redo the entire setup.
Yeah.
And that's the issue that you have. So it can be a lot of mucking. It can be a lot of mucking around.
Yeah.
But if you know what you're doing, and that's where we can help you a lot in that.
Yeah. No, it'd be good.
So, Beck, can we do your case next Wednesday?
Yeah, certainly.
Okay, perfect. Because that's a pretty interesting case. But I want you to really think about it and tell me what you think you should be doing.
All right.
Okay, but that's a really interesting case.
Yeah.
Jeff, can I just ask you a really quick question?
Yeah.
I watched the video last night on that guy that you treated. It was 2 weeks ago. He was in his 50s, I suppose. You took out the upper. What did you take? The upper right. Would it have been wrong? Would it have been wrong to take out the upper right 4 and lower 5s?
You know what? I would have to go back to the case.
Oh, the only reason I asked that is because I think those lowers were still a little bit too proclined, and I don't think enough retraction was achieved.
Yeah.
That's why you might have got recession. So if you took out 2 teeth, lower 5s, you would have, brought those lower incisors back a bit more.
Yeah. My only question there was, would we have brought them back too far?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why lower 5. But anyway, yeah.
But look, it's so it's funny. You present cases and you go,
should I have done it that way? Shouldn't I have done it?
Yeah, and it's very easy to be like this particular case. I'll be honest, I was lucky.
Yeah,
I really was
amazing how it's sort of. How much class 2 did you end up wearing?
She wore a lot of class 2s, but in her case, I didn't start the class 2s till we got into our rectangular wires. Because normally I start a lot of class 2 elastics early on.
But you need to open the bite first. Yeah.
I needed to open the bite, and I didn't want to retrocline her uppers any further.
Well, how did you draw up your treatment plan for something like this? What did you say to her at the start?
Exactly that. I said, look, I think we're going to go ahead, and I was going to align the uppers first. I was going to open the bite, and then I was going to decide, was I going to put a functional appliance in of some description?
So you had that on your treatment plan?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what I would call a therapeutic diagnosis, and I do that quite often.
Yeah.
Even if I'm only 10% sure that we're going to extract teeth.
Yeah.
Because then you look like a genius afterwards.
Because you didn't have to, yeah.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay.
So, okay, guys, we shall see you next Wednesday morning.
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you then. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Henry, I'll speak to you later. Okay. See you.
Naomi.
Bye.
Bye.